So welcome to Talking Neat. Hey, no gang signs. God damn it. I'm going to have to cut that out or blur it. Welcome to Talking Neat. I am here today with the fine young chaps from Worldwide Panic. How's it going, guys?
How's it going?
Awesome. How you doing?
Pretty good. So glad you made it here. I understand you had a long-ass drive.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was all right.
You drive around the country 2 times in 45 fucking days. 45-minute drive east ain't shit, so it's all good.
I drive for a living, so we're good.
You don't.
Uber?
Lyft.
Lyft?
You don't.
I have to edit out that plug right there.
Yeah, can you make a living doing that?
Yeah, it's.
Or you get by?
I get by,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, and I pay him rent too.
It's all good. It's all good.
You see what I deal with, folks?
I missed this.
So let me
man.
guess, you're the newest guy in the band.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Not at all.
I was for a little bit. I am the baby though. I'm the baby.
There's a reason you're getting picked on.
Yes, there is.
We're already setting that precedent.
It's all in good fun.
I know if I got to talk shit about someone, it's going right to you.
Great.
So, yeah, he's the one that gets picked on. I'm the one that shows my penis the most. And he's the one with the most back hair. And then his...
What about one?
I don't know. Oh, his farts are really terrible. So on our group chat, his thing is Nose Destroyer. That's what his AKA is on our group.
So does that clear it up on whether this is like a G-rated show? I mean, we got chest hair or back hair, dicks,
Yeah.
Nose destroyer.
nose destroyer.
Well, we think he has Asperger's or like on the spectrum of autism. So his new nickname on this past tour was Burgers. And no offense to anybody who does have autism or Asperger's. So anytime he says something stupid, we'll just be like, "You guys smell that?" And I'll be like, "What?" And be like, "Burgers on the grill, son, flip 'em."
I was just watching the South Park Asperger's episode
Yeah, I love
today.
that episode. Oh my god.
Like
One of my
we're
favorites.
very conscientious people about all that stuff, but we just like calling them burgers.
Birds.
It's stuck.
Burgers or burgers or burgers on the grill or
Yeah.
And you're okay with that?
it gets annoying, but
He's all like, no, I'm not
Who
okay.
cares if he's okay with it? It's happening.
it's like
containing his anger right now.
I'll try to be serious, and then I get burger. Shut up.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You scare
Oh,
people with your words.
I guess I don't know.
No, he's a good
I'm
guy.
just the
Yeah,
guy that
no,
plays
man.
guitar, man.
We love
you
the
know?
kid, man.
He's like he's a genius guitar player, but he says some pretty stupid things sometimes.
Yeah, that's
But
all.
they're all funny.
That's all I've been doing for 19 years, which is
Yeah.
playing guitar.
He's just.
You know?
19? You're only 19?
I'm 23,
Okay.
but
I was
19,
gonna say, get outta here.
19 years playing guitar. But
Oh, shit.
yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool story, Bergs.
I got the list.
It never stops.
There was another one. You said something today, like, come on, Picasso, let's get going.
Oh yeah.
I gotta add that to the list.
Because the vocalist, the vocalist, the main guy who gets in the center of the
Picasso.
stage. I'm like, you know,
Picasso.
taking his sweet time. I'm like, hey Picasso, let's go. You know,
How does it
Picasso wasn't a singer.
Yeah, Picasso.
it was a painter.
You
Yeah.
guys smell
But-
that? They're sizzling right now.
Oh
You
man,
can
is
flip
that's onion powder with a little bit of like
Yeah.
cayenne and allspice?
I'm
and
gonna need some. Yeah.
an
I'm
80
gonna
to a
need-
nice
Yeah.
80-20
Now,
round.
if you're only having 2, I wouldn't do this one. I'd go with the other 2. It's up to you, though.
It's fine. I'll start with that. See how I like it.
I'm gonna run the panel.
I love Jameson. So
J-Mo. Oh yeah, I love Jameson too.
You've never drinking whiskey in your life.
I've had whiskey plenty of times.
You
Stupid.
haven't.
Got that?
Yeah, that's why you don't leave early on my fucking birthday parties.
And if you guys want more, just say the word. So this is Jameson Black Barrel. It's basically your run-of-the-mill shit Jameson. Then they throw it in a bourbon barrel or a charred barrel, and it picks up a little bit of that.
The essence.
Yeah, the little bit of.
So we're recommending this.
This is actually pretty good. I like that they have 2 other.
Cast mix.
Yeah, the Castmates. They have an IPA and a stout. The stout is actually pretty good.
Huh.
It's really creamy.
down the hatchet.
Salud.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's kind of got that bourbon taste
It does.
to it.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of that. I mean, they use bourbon barrels, so.
Very cool.
Good stuff.
You guys just got off the road a couple weeks ago with Mushroom Head.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was fun. Had a good time.
It was intense, man.
Surreal.
Very,
Surreal.
very
Intense.
intense.
Very long tour.
Very long tour, yeah.
Well,
Yep, very long
It
tour.
didn't seem that long to me, guys, because you guys made every day feel like Christmas.
Honestly, like as long as it was quick at the same time. You know, that's the
Yeah.
mindset that I sort of.
It always is too quick to me. I'm, you know, I just like never know when, you know, whatever trip you're on is going to end, you know, so you just have to enjoy it, you know, while it's happening. And, you know, we're a band that's not a passive band, as I was telling you before, like, you know, I don't want anybody to walk away from one of our shows being like, yeah, that band was okay, that band was alright, or like, you know, I want them to either say, that band was fucking terrible and I hate their guts, or this is my new favorite band. Like that's kind of the goal, is like for the stage show and our interaction with the fans afterwards to be so interactive and over the top that it just like requires people to have like strong feelings either way. And with Mushroom Head was, I mean, because we wear paint, we have theatrics, they have theatrics. There was another band called Ventana who also wear masks and stuff like that, and then there was Hell's a Popping Circus Sideshow, which is like a traveling circus sideshow. So every single act on this particular tour package had some sort of shock rock or theatrical value along to it. There wasn't that fucking band in the middle that like they went on stage with their, you know, t-shirts and fucking cargo, camo fucking shorts and shit, or like, you know, t-shirts and jeans. Every fucking band put on a fucking show theatrically, and it was a ebb and flow of theatricality from beginning to end. So that was fun.
Now, bands that, like, when you say you don't care whether they love you or hate you, as long as they walk away with one or the other, that brings like to my mind, bands like Marilyn Manson, early Ozzy, he didn't care. He just wanted some kind of Alice Cooper, the original Alice Cooper.
Yes.
I mean, they were pissed if you liked them. They were just out to piss you off. And
I know a lot about Vincent Fernandez, right?
And so, is that what you guys are going for? That kind of that shock value?
Absolutely.
In your face, piss people off?
Absolutely. There's a lot of over-the-top things that happen on stage. It's not a scripted show. So, you know, if someone's heckling me, I guarantee you most likely my wit is going to outwit them, and I'm going to say something that's going to fucking be like, or just have everybody like barreled over in laughter because like, you know, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to say something? And I'll hand somebody the mic and I'll be like, no one gives a fuck what you have to say! Shut up! Like, things like that.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, every other show this last tour that happened.
There's always one person that walked away that was all like, I'm going away. I came from Mushroom Head.
And then like we were even on the last tour we went on Flaw, like this chick was like all talking this. Remember that play when we were playing in Wisconsin at the Playhouse with Flaw and Smiling Soul? There was some chick who was like, he was so vulgar and he was so this. And like after the show, like she was like coming up and like giving us hugs, and I'm like, honey, I've been hearing word that you had a problem with my deal, and she's like, well, you need to be more blah blah, and I'm like, appreciate your criticism, but I honestly don't care, because you're just sitting here telling me you had a good time. So You know,
Like you have your special projects, you know, if they're all like.
yeah.
Frost
So
and
you
all
have to
that.
explain what a special project is.
So basically, if you see someone, you know, like cross-armed, you know, they're just like staring out in the distance, like, oh, can this band just fucking get off already? You know, Lane does his thing as the front man. It's like, you crossed arms, or like if they're like, you know, having
Texting.
chicken finger eatings,
Texting.
you know, texting and all that. It's like, you are my special project. I don't want you I don't want your arms crossed. I don't want you texting or all that. I'm not gonna get off the stage until you have fun. You know, then he'll keep checking on them, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually they get into it, or they just stay
Or they
cross
don't.
with you. Or they don't.
And I don't care because there's either 300, 500, 1,000 other fucking people in the room who are ready to have a good time. So, you know,
But then why do you focus on that one person who's
because why not?
not?
Because their lives are probably too easy anyway. They need to get mixed up.
What if they're like going like this? You call them out and they go, "My mom just died."
I had somebody say some shit like that, like my someone's in the hospital or something, and I was like, all right, like, you know what I mean? It's not my job to, like, you know, it's a gag, it's a joke, it's an act, and it's like, you know, it's even on this tour, like, I kind of really like the old. It started off like as my normal stage act has been for a while, really abrasive. And as the tour progressed, we started playing more like all ages venues and stuff, and more so than we've ever done ever, you know. And I needed to think of a way of being controversial and thought-provoking and funny without being overly vulgar, and that was something that took a little work. But I believe, like, during the middle of the tour, like, everything kind of fit into a rhythm where, you know, there was less moments of uncomfortability where you didn't know if some of the jokes would go over well, and it was more of a comedic welcoming vibe instead of you know, picking on special projects so much. And I feel like it really has now set the tone for what the future for Worldwide Panic can be, because, you know, when you're playing, you know, the goal is, you know, even though we've done, like, you know, national tours with major bands and stuff like that, like, I don't even think the band has, like, even got onto its first tier, because I believe that everything that we're doing is like arena rock almost. Like arena rock, shock rock, you know, mixed with like really catchy, clean choruses. And the way to do that is if you're playing a bigger show on an arena and you're sitting there, you know, getting your jollies off by, you know, being overly controversial with your jokes, it's like, is it either about the jokes or is it about the material? And I think that we've now found the happy medium to where it's a funny, engaging show without being alienating. And I think on this tour, that was the biggest learning lesson for me on this one. You know, is just kind of learning how to read the audience, learning how to be welcoming and not alienating people, and just, you know, focusing on what he said is just everybody having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we're about like supporting the troops. You know, we're not into politics at all. So one of the songs is about our original guitar player who left the band to go to Iraq, and you know, so we do a shout out to vets and active duties. And so there's tons of people who come up to us after the show and tell us their stories and send us messages and stuff like that. And the underlining message of the entire band is like to fight your inner demons and become the person you're meant to be inside. So there's a song called Never Go Back Again, and people are like singing it back to us the whole time. And it's just, you know, we're really making a positive impact on people's lives. And to put a cap on all of what I said is the criticism that I've got, or the critique that I've got, is when people have, the majority of people that have walked away from Worldwide Panic shows, I've heard this phrase a couple times, that Worldwide Panic is the most interactive band they have ever seen. And I mean, I get into the crowd and literally rock out with my bass in front of them. I'll go out and I'll like see a kid in the front row and I'll be like, is this your first show? And they'll be like, it's my second show. And I'm like, do you love metal? And the kid would be like, yeah! And like, you know, the kid will come
Hold
up.
on, I'm texting.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the kid, like someone would get his drumstick and be like, I want to be a drummer. And like someone would grab my guitar pick or his pick and be all like, I'm going to play in a band now. You know what I mean? Or like, Worldwide Panic's my favorite band. And this little shithead kid. You know what I mean?
I've still got guitar picks from when I was like some little shit kid.
Yeah.
10 years old at a concert.
You
and
can't put. So when people come up to you and say, you know, I'm a veteran and I don't feel like I got the proper respect when I got home, and what you guys are doing is like, you know, making me feel like I'm finally appreciated. Or when a family comes up and a kid says, you're my new favorite band and all this stuff, it's like you can't. There's no price tag on that.
Is it a weird feeling?
No.
Yes.
Are
To
you?
me,
Can you
it's-
ever be ready for something like that?
I feel that music saved my life, literally and figuratively. And I feel like I owe every fiber of my being to it. And, you know, I don't believe in conventional religion, and the closest thing that I have come to divinity is being on stage with these guys and playing our music. You know?
He kind of looks like Jesus.
I know.
Yeah.
So music is my higher power. So I really do feel indebted to it in a weird way.
Like, this is the life that we chose, you know, it's not the easiest. And music is the one thing that never goes away when you're down, or even if you're happy, or you're just in whatever feeling that you have. You know, like, it's never been that one person that just takes off and leaves, you know, without saying goodbye, or it's not like that at all. You know, it always comes back. And even though sometimes you just want to just be by yourself when, you know, something just doesn't go your way, or something unexpected comes in, you know, it's always been that one thing it's that one friend that's always going to be there 24/7. You know.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like, you know, for all of us who do this for the right reasons, you know, which starts as passion and love for the craft, I think when you're creating a piece of work that is going to be released to the public, in the back of your mind, you're always trying to write something that's going to resonate with people, and, you know, you hope that they're going to, you know, respond to that in a way where, wow, your music either changed my life, or, you know, you're my new favorite band, or because of you, I picked up an instrument, or
Yeah.
it inspired me to do anything in life. You know, music could help you inspire people to do more than just music, and, you know, a way of life, really. So to answer your last question, I don't think it's necessarily weird when someone makes a comment like that, but it definitely hits you every time. I don't think you could ever really get used to hearing that. You know,
No.
if you're really genuine about your music and your fans and the way you connect with people, it's going to hit you in the core every time, because, you know, music is a very personal thing that starts with us, you know, and in turn is you know, given to the public. So, you know, it's a very humbling feeling.
Oh, I cry my ass off. When I'm at home and vets hit me up and say that, you know, this is my story. Like the other day, I was at home with my lady, and you know, this vet hit me up about like her husband dying in Iraq, and she was, you know, a vet, and she's now taking care of the children herself. I was fucking bawling. I mean, there's just you're making an impact on these people's lives. You're not just going out there playing your show and dipping out into your bus or to your van or to your dressing room. Like, we go out, play our show, and we go around and give free 8x10 pictures to every single person in that venue. We walk around, hey, come on, let's take a picture together. We're gonna post on our Facebook page. No band fucking does that. We got a camera set up right at our booth. Take a fucking selfie with them, give them a free signed 8x10 picture, and if they want to buy a shirt, great. If they don't, that's cool. But everybody who fucking goes to our show leaves with an experience. They leave with a souvenir of our fucking picture, and they can go on Facebook and they can tag themselves in that picture that they took with us and everything. We go the extra mile to ensure having fans, and like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram will never reflect the actual true fan base of Worldwide Panic out there, and I feel uncomfortable even calling them fans. They're just friends that we don't know very well. Like, I don't ever want to get to the point where we're like, like one of these bigger bands who just dips out. Like, I always want to remain accessible, and if that means I get John Lennon, then I get John Lennon, whatever. Like, cool, it's a cool story. Like, then I went out doing what I love. I'm twisted, dude. But
Hey, I mean, bringing up Alice Cooper, you had the original Alice Cooper when they were on the Schools Out tour.
yeah,
They used to bring, because, I mean, they were so big at that point.
yeah,
They knocked the Beatles off the charts.
Yep.
So to get more people in the crowd, they put people behind the drum kit and sold tickets back there.
yep.
So moving on.
All right.
None.
So Buffalo Trace. This is a Kentucky bourbon, straight bourbon, and one of the cool things about Kentucky bourbon and Buffalo Trace, this bourbon was one of the 6 bourbons that were allowed to continue during Prohibition.
Really?
Why?
Because if you ever get like a cramp in your arm or nagging wife syndrome or pneumonia,
wife syndrome.
you need medicine.
Wow.
And a lot of people, like even politicians, they still wanted to drink. So they would, they convinced Congress to allow medicinal bourbon.
Ah.
And so 6 distilleries, this is one of them. Only 3 made it through
They were treated.
Prohibition.
True.
I mean, obviously you're not making a whole lot of money when you can only sell it as
Yeah.
medicine, but you'd take your prescription to your local pharmacist, and he would pour you a liter a month, and you would get your medicinal bourbon.
Little ones.
Very nice.
And
That's gnarly.
but yeah, this is like this distillery's been around since the late 1700s. It's a original.
Here's mud in your eye.
Salud. Salud.
Chinda, Black Rob.
That show's never gonna stop.
Anything
Yeah.
lined up?
It's a weird thing. Like, people who are not in the industry as we are, or don't understand quite, what happens. So, people are like, oh, this band just toured with Florence My Limpy Soul, and then they did their own tour, and then they did an acoustic tour, and then now they went out with Mushroom Head, and these pictures of them playing in front of big audiences and everything like that. So, they must be sitting pretty right now, and it's like, well, no, we don't have a record deal. We don't. The future tomorrow is not promised. There's an EP that's coming out. We have a great team behind it. Shauna O'Donnell, our publicist, and Munzie at Skateboard Marketing is going to be helping the radio promotion. And our friend and guardian angel, who's been a consultant, helping from the ground up for past 11 plus years of my career, fucking Blasco, is helping in the wings. And there's a lot of people who are giving us tutelage and support, and with all of that going on and the fans that we in fact do have, it still doesn't promise anything.
No guarantees.
There's no guarantees. God bless bands that can come out there and you know, the next thing you know, it's like, you know, I don't want to name names, but there's a particular band that, you know, back in the early 2000s that they played 3 shows and they were on Ozfest. And then there was a particular band that came out last year and put up a cover song that I wasn't too friendly with. And the next thing you know, they're playing stadium shows out of nowhere. So it's like, you know, hats off to them, but I don't want anything for this band's future to be a fly-by-night passing phase thing. Like, I want it to be, this band worked their asses off for whatever they are getting, and hopefully we're at that point or close to that point. But there's offers. We just got to figure out what we're gonna do. You know, it's either we want to go out there with another bigger band, which is going to be another sacrifice on our part as far as, you know, being out, because you got to keep in mind when you're a band in our position, and this is letting the veil of disillusionment down. You're out on tour with bands who have buses and who have drivers for those buses, and you're 4 guys in a, you know, 15 passenger or 12 passenger extended cab van that is having to do, you know, 8 to 10 to 12 hour drives
After a set.
after selling merch until
You got a professional
you know,
driver right here, though.
he tells us that all the time, you know. But
I'll vouch for him.
You know.
I think he picked me up.
he does a good job. I mean,
We have to trade after a while. It does get to the point where it's just like, it just feels like it's endless. Like, is this ever going to stop? And well, actually, I would say halfway through the tour, Juan took over a lot of the driving duties, and it got to the point where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. And Juan stepped up to the plate. He always made himself, you know, out there, like dude, like if you really don't want to drive, you know, just let me know. And like, he also drives like those big trucks.
guns.
And then Lane will offer his fair share as well. I just have to make sure I have a seatbelt on.
But that's a topic for another night.
You beat his ass over that?
No, I didn't beat anybody's ass. I just drive like a.
He drives like an Angelino.
I drive like an
And I
Angelino.
tried to explain the concept of rotation so everybody has equal amounts, but they looked at me like I was speaking Spanish, so I figured.
He
Yeah.
was. He was.
I was.
He was speaking
I was.
Spanish. I mean,
was speaking Spanish.
everybody in this band is we may reside in Los Angeles County, but I mean, he's from Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York.
He's from parts unknown. Don't even
585.
fucking get him started.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, whatever the fuck. One day he'll be from Jersey, one day he'll be from Idaho, one day he'll be from fucking
Washington.
Bet. Don't even fucking get started.
Reno.
And so he's from Texas, and
San Antonio Spurs,
I'm from Washington State. So we didn't get a goddamn lick of respect. We barely. I don't care. People. I'm sorry, guys. I'll tell you the truth. We fucking barely. We would play shows out in LA. We barely fucking sell. A good night would be $100 of merch sales, you know. And it wasn't until we just did this tour with Mushroom Head and came back and played the whiskey that we noticed in the crowd there's like 40 people, 45 people who were repeat Worldwide Panic fans and friends to come see us. And there was new fans from Mushroom Head who were buying merch. We sold like $500-600 worth of merch that night at the whiskey. That's
Even after
fucking
the
like
show.
unheard of for most
Don't think I
bands.
forget.
You know what I'm saying? So when we did all this shit and we went to Middle America 3 or 4 times and then finally came back home, just this last time it changed. And we're
I mean,
we're not playing the Forum, we're not playing the fucking Garden yet.
Yeah.
But you know
That's the power of getting on a big band show.
Yeah.
I mean,
that too.
Also, to add on to that, like, there's nothing like amazing to look at when you just played your opening set, and like fans of the of the headliner, they come back, they buy merch, they take pictures with you and all that, but then you go back out to see, how the headliner is doing and all that. And you see their fans, rocking Worldwide Panic shirts or,
Yeah.
the wristbands, or
Mhm.
they're still
Dog
carrying their
tags or-
posters.
Yeah.
And they're jumping around and they're having fun, and they have the posters in their hands. Or you see the wristbands, and their wristbands are bouncing or something like that, as they're jumping up and down.
Or they're
Yeah,
getting,
it's-
our logo tattooed on them. I reckon.
See, I think you guys missed a really good opportunity. Instead of Worldwide Panic, it should have been Prestige Worldwide.
Hi.
Ooh.
We put liquid paper on a bee, and it died.
Every time I come, I produce a quart.
That's great.
You were so close.
No, I mean, it really was great, and that was a great tour, and we do have options of what's next. We just got to figure out what fits best for us right now. What we want to do is just not only be more interactive in the future. We want to make songs that are just so catchy and relatable.
See, I hear
is what we're
catchy and
trying
I
to
hear
do.
pop.
Yeah, we're straying away from that stigmatization because it still can be catchy without being pop. You know, it doesn't have to follow pop parameters, and that is tried and true with our adaptation of Alanis Morissette's "You Ought to Know," because you take a song, and if you actually listen to "You Ought to Know" and hear the angst in her fucking voice.
It's that whole album.
Like
Oh, yeah.
that song was not even meant to be a pop song. It was just a add-on, you know. So I think we actually did its proper justice by reimagining it into this dark, twisted, you know, industrial rock.
I wish you would have
realm.
kept the original lyrics.
Well, I mean, what for the pronouns being
Yeah.
for the women or for the men or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
You got to stay true to it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You know what? If Faith No More can have the song "Be Aggressive," which is about giving another guy a blowjob, and Mike Patton can get up there and sing it,
yeah.
you can do it. It's 2019.
Why not?
I mean,
Listen, I just have a girlfriend for show. We're all about the homie love here. Come here, son.
No.
I knew it was birds.
It's always birds. It's the hair.
I just touched Bird's
It's
cock.
feminine features.
Yeah, how many times in the last few months have you done that?
I touched your
Touched
cock.
your cock?
That actually is the third time I've touched your cock today.
I quit, guys.
Eric,
Hey, bye, Juan.
So we're moving on. So this is a rye. Leaving bourbon country, we're going to rye. So this is made in Evanston, Illinois. Familiar?
Haven't been
Did
there.
we play in Evanston?
No, we played in Belvedere.
Belvedere.
It's a
We
little
played
bit.
in Belvedere, we played in Joliet, and we played in Woodstock,
Woodstock.
Illinois.
No,
So those are
Bloomington
northern.
as well.
Bloomington, Illinois.
Yeah, Florida.
So this is just below Chicago, and Evanston is where the Temperance Movement started. Temperance Movement kind of gave way into Prohibition.
Okay.
So you had this one. The Temperance Movement was more of a public shaming. It was kind of bored housewives, kind of like the PMRC.
Okay.
And they had nothing better to do. Most of them were ministers' wives. They had nothing better to do, so they'd just hang outside of bars and just as the drunks would come out.
They had nothing better to do.
And they would kind of take notes. And this one lady who was minister's wife in Evanston, she ended up getting like an audience with President Hayden's wife and the president. And he basically blew her off, but the president's wife joined their movement. And she also got a audience with Frederick Douglass and his wife. And so, I mean, she started gaining steam. She ended up being elected to the president of the international chapter of the Temperance Movement in the late 1800s. It gained more and more momentum. Early 1900s, they passed laws, the Prohibition Act, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Her name was Frances Elizabeth Willard, and so that's how you get few. her initials.
Ah,
So the biggest fuck you.
I like it.
Wow.
What is cool.
That's some American
Well,
history right
yeah.
there.
Cheers to you.
To Temperance.
Mrs. Willard.
To Francis.
Francis
Elizabeth
Willard.
France.
Here's mud in your eye.
Salud.
See how Jason was like not cool with cheersing with me with the O'Douls?
I know. I
He thought about it.
second and third take.
We'll do one more. I'm gonna do this.
Oh God.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
So this is a rye. It kind of tastes like lawnmower clippings. I should have probably warned you.
I feel like Jason should know like that halfway through the tour, maybe towards the end.
What happened?
Oh,
He was getting picked on so much
Yeah.
that we were genuinely curious as to who he'd kill first.
Yeah.
In what order?
I like
Not
this
only
part.
what order.
I like this part.
How?
How?
Yeah.
How would you do it? Where would you do it?
Yeah. I
Now,
was-
now
in
most
what order?
serial
I
killers
thought-
use
I
the
thought
same
he-
method for each person.
I thought
but-
he would choose me the most because I picked on him the most.
Yeah.
But he said he would kill me last, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, everybody knows the.
I got bumped up a notch. Originally, he said he'd kill their old drummer first.
He did.
And then,
Yeah.
a few days later, he's like, you know what? Now I'd kill Juan first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did. I don't. Remember.
I don't know what I did
what you
either.
did
I don't
either.
remember.
I think
That's
spur of the moment.
I may have
Nothing.
taken an eyeball, almost taken an eyeball out with a drumstick or something. I don't know.
No, dude.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
You
I
took-
Yeah, you
remember.
got me right in the mouth.
Okay, so something that a lot of whiskey drinkers do, it's called an infinite bottle. So when you get down to that last little bit of whiskey, most like whiskey drinkers will pour it into another bottle and create an infinite bottle.
Okay.
And so it basically it just gets added. Like this one is kind of close,
Right.
so we can always dump it into another bottle. And whiskey isn't like wine, where like wine you're not going to mix a Cabernet and a Sauvignon and all that kind of crap. But whiskey you can mix all these different flavors, and they actually have like Canadian whiskey or Irish whiskey. It's a blend of a bunch of other whiskeys. Like Johnny Walker, they get whiskey from all over Scotland, from like 6 different distillers.
Wow.
And then they blend it and make it this perfect whiskey.
I didn't know you can blend them together.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about whiskey.
Ow.
And so, this bad boy right here. Actually, we've got our old infinite bottle up there. If you can grab it.
Is it that one?
Yeah. So everyone who's come in, they pick their favorite whiskey and they toss in a little bit, and that's created. We've actually started drinking some. If you want, you can try it.
I'm just gonna put that right there.
But everyone who's been in on the show has signed the bottle. So now we're moving on to the barrel.
Okay.
So you guys get to be the first. So you can pick whichever whiskey you want. Toss a little bit on, and then you got to sign the barrel. And we'll let you do
Oh, the
it.
barrel?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We'll let you do it too.
Oh, okay.
Pussy. And please don't dump any O'Douls in it.
No.